To all of our listeners and viewers around the country and around the world.
Juan, you've been covering the labor movement and particularly what's been going on with Unite Here, a very interesting major meeting they had last week.
Yes, well, this week has actually been the convention, the national convention of Unite Here, the merger of the hotel workers and the apparel workers union that's been torn by strife now for several months. And what was really a seminal moment, I think, in the American labor movement, which is that a host of leaders of the AFL-CIO and of the Change to Win, the alternative federation, appeared at the convention to condemn the Service Employees International Union, the union led by Andy Stern, which has been supporting a dissident group that broke away from Unite Here. And some of the wording of some of the presidents of the union was astounding. Gerald McEntee, the president of the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, denounced SEIU for, quote, poaching of Unite Here and for engaging in what he said was piracy on the high seas of organized labor. You had Jimmy Hoffa, the president of the Teamsters, who's part of Change to Win, also supporting Unite Here. So what you have basically for the first time in the American labor movement is both the AFL-CIO and many of the Change to Win unions saying that SEIU has really gone off the deep end in its attempt to raid other unions, and they're condemning it and pledging their financial support to Unite Here President John Wilhelm in his attempts to rebuff SEIU. So given that SEIU is the fastest growing, one of the biggest, and certainly the richest union in America, this signifies a major change in how the American labor movement is going to be dealing in the future. Do
you think Change to Win, which broke away from the AFL-CIO, is going to last? Oh, no, I think basically Change to Win is dead. In essence, what has happened is that the reformers that were supposed to be the Change to Win unions have become so torn by internal division and by the attempts of SEIU to dominate the American labor movement that, in essence, the Change to Win Federation, it's not officially dead yet, but my sense is, in my discussions with labor leaders around the country, is that some of the existing Change to Win unions will soon be rejoining the AFL-CIO, but probably without SEIU. And there'll be a major presidential election within the AFL-CIO.
Yes. Later this year, John Sweeney, the president of the AFL-CIO, will be retiring, and it looks pretty much set now that Richard Trumka, the second in command at the AFL-CIO, will now become the new head of the American labor movement.
Well, we'll continue to follow that, certainly, but right now to our top story in Honduras.
Yes. Well, the ousted Honduran President Manuel Zelaya is expected to meet with U.S. diplomats in Washington today before attempting to return to Honduras Thursday, 5 days after being deposed by a military coup. Speaking at the United Nations General Assembly Tuesday, Zelaya called his kidnapping by the Honduran military and the resulting coup a crime and vowed to return to his country as a citizen and as president. The head of the Organization of American States, as well as the president of the General Assembly and the presidents of Argentina and Ecuador, will reportedly accompany him back to Tegucigalpa. A visibly emotional Zelaya described what happened when the military stormed his residence Sunday morning.
Entonces están encañonados con más de 8 rifles, unos para la cara, rifles pesados, todos.
More than 8 rifles were pointed at me, heavy rifles. Rifles and bayonets aimed at my chest.
Y con rifles, pistolas y puñales, encañonándome unos el pecho y otros la cara, me decían, suelta.
And I was told, drop that mobile phone, or we will shoot. This is a military order. Drop the phone. Drop it or we will shoot. Drop the phone.
The General Assembly unanimously condemned the coup and adopted a resolution demanding Zelaya's immediate and unconditional restoration. Meanwhile, the OAS has given the interim Honduran government set up after the coup 3 days to restore Zelaya to office or face a vote to suspend it. Despite the growing threats of international isolation, the interim government has warned that the ousted president risks facing arrest upon his return. On Tuesday, Attorney General Luis Ruby told the news conference that the courts had issued a warrant for Zelaya's arrest.
When he enters the country, he is immediately arrested and put into the custody of the Attorney General and taken to the Republic's courts.
Meanwhile, the streets in Honduras remain tense, and the crackdown on the media has reportedly not been lifted. Even as hundreds gathered for an anti-Zelaya demonstration in favor of the coup, protests against it continued Tuesday with traffic blockades in various parts of the country and with the teachers' union announcing an indefinite strike in primary and secondary schools.
For more on the situation, we're joined now by three guests. Nicholas Kozloff is a journalist and author. His most recent book is called Revolution, South America and the Rise of the New Left. His latest article is called Honduras, What's Behind the Coup? He's joining us here in our Firehouse studio. And joining us by Democracy Now! Video stream is Father Roy Bourgeois, founder of the School of the Americas Watch. He joins us from, well, right across the street from Fort Benning, Georgia, where he set up camp years ago with School of the Americas Watch, SOA Watch. But first to Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras, to the award-winning human rights activist and Dr. Juan Almendares, president of the Honduran Peace Committee, as well as the past secretary of the Coordinating Committee of Popular Organizations. He was an opposition candidate with the Democratic Unification Party during the last presidential elections. Dr. Almendares, welcome back to Democracy Now! Tell us, what is the latest on the ground with the news of the strike? What do the protests look like in the streets? And what about Zelaya returning tomorrow on Thursday?
Well, yesterday we were in the Pacific demonstration, who are people who are against the military coup d'etat, and the people were stronger under the rain and also shouting, and all the resistance movement is becoming stronger, even the repression by the militaries and the new regime. But I want to say that there were two kinds of demonstrations. One organized by the new regime, and many of the people had white uniforms. They were really clean, and they were calling to the dialogue, but this demonstration has the support of the military regime. And they are calling with the dialogue with the machine guns, with the army, with the repression of the people. And also, they are not paying really attention what is happening. That many people are persecuted. Many of them were brutally stopped by the military forces. But the organization of the resistance movement is very strong at the national level. There is a strike in many sides of the country. Why we are worried what will happen on Thursday, because the new regime making a statement, they are going to capture President Zelaya, and they don't want to return to the constitutional respect and the human rights respect. On the contrary, people are not afraid. People believe strongly that the people organized and mobilized is stronger than the army. Even if we don't have the arms, we don't have the arms that are by the suffering, the hunger of the Honduran people. So we are calling to be more wise, to be more peaceable, to respect the human rights of the people. We are calling that we want to head back to the constitutional situation we had before. And also, we are calling to international solidarity to keep attention. What will happen on Thursday? This new regime apparently is leaving the era of Pinochet. They don't want to listen to anybody. They don't want to listen to the international community. Even when they were the news, some of the TV system was almost not accessible to the people. Only the people who had cable, but even in the cable in some moment was interrupted. So I believe that we have to call for peace, for human rights, for dignity, of the historical people in Honduras. And we have two kind of marches, two kinds of protests. One, which is a clean protest, with no people who has really suffering. We have people who are protected by the army, and the other people who are repressed by the army. So they want to give an image that people are in favor of this coup d'etat.
Dr. Juan Almendares, we have to break, but we're going to come back to this discussion and also talk about the generals in charge of the coup and their connection to the School of the Americas. Dr. Juan Almendares, Honduran medical doctor and president of the Honduran Peace Committee, actually ran for president against President Zelaya in 2005. We'll be back in a minute.